Denise? Don't break my camera now.
Hey, hey, hey.
Did you shrink?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what we forgot to do. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Mayor Rogers is not with us this evening, so in his absence, I would like to call this meeting of the regular board meeting of the Board of Trustees of March 17, 2014 to order at 7:39 p.m. And at this time, I would ask the trustees for a motion. Oh, excuse me, before I do that, I need to call the roll. Trustee Bendel.
Here.
Trustee Pearson.
Here.
Trustee Smith.
Here.
Trustee Hunt. Trustee Brown.
Here.
Trustee Henyer.
Present.
At this time, I would ask the trustees for a motion to appoint a mayor pro tem to chair this evening's meeting.
A motion of trustee Tiffany Henry to pro tem mayor for the meeting.
Second.
Not sure you should do that. Motion by trustee Brown, second by, let's say trustee Smith, to appoint trustee Henyard as mayor pro tem to chair this evening's meeting. Roll call on trustee Bendel.
Aye.
Trustee Pearson.
Aye.
Trustee Smith.
Aye.
Trustee Hunt. Trustee Brown.
Here. Aye.
Trustee Henyard.
Aye.
Okay. Trustee Henyard is appointed mayor pro tem.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming out this evening. I know it's election time. I would like everybody to stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please continue standing. I want trustee Smith to lead us in prayer.
Can we all bow our heads, please? Come to you tonight, first of all, in the name of Jesus, to say thank you, Father God, for getting us here safely. And I ask in the name of Jesus that you touch our hearts, our heads, our minds, our tongues, so that what comes out will be beneficial for the village as a whole, the people within the village. May we progress tonight and every other night and forth. In the name of Jesus, I thank you and I praise you. Amen.
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 Tonight, under old business, we're going to start with resolution number 14R-0006. Mr. Irving?
Yes, thank you, Madam Pro Tem. This is just a re-vote. Unfortunately, the attorney prepared the original document in error. They've had to change some verbiage. This was voted on at the last board meeting. This is the property known as 1006 East Sibley Boulevard, better known as the Clark Station. So I would ask for the same approval. It's just a matter of the semantics that was in the first resolution that needed to be changed.
What were the verbiage?
The
That was changed.
verbiage that had to be changed was it had to list the fact that this was a reconstruct, not just a deserted building, because of the fact that they have been able to attract checkers, that had to be specifically spelled out there. It wasn't an abandoned building classified as a Class 8 application.
Can I have a motion to approve resolution number 14-R-0006?
I'll make a motion to approve 14R006.
Second. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Trustee Bendel?
Aye.
Trustee Pearson?
Aye.
Trustee Smith?
Aye.
Trustee Hunt? Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Henry?
Aye. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is the Dorchester Ballroom lease agreement. Mr. Irving?
For the record, Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I make a motion that we table this until further notice.
Okay. Well, can I ask for a motion before? Second first. Can I have a motion to approve the Dorchester Ballroom lease agreement?
No, I just made a motion to table it.
Second.
Okay. It has been moved in motion. Call the roll.
Trustee Bendel?
This motion is to table, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Aye.
Trustee Smith?
Aye.
Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Henry?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Next on the agenda, we have Center's resolution. Can I have a motion to approve Center's resolution?
I motion to table the census resolution.
Second.
It has been moved in second. Please call the roll.
Trustee Bendel?
Trustee Bendel?
No.
Trustee Pearson?
No.
Trustee Smith?
Aye.
Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Henry?
Aye.
3-2, motion carries.
Next on the agenda, under new business, we have can I have a motion to approve resolution number 14R-0005? Mr. Irving.
This is a perfunctory motion that has been brought forward by the engineering company Robinson, represented by Mr. Ron Smith. It is a grant application that will put us in for an application with the Community Development Block Grant. This has been done year in, year out by every municipality. This should have been on the last board meeting, but unfortunately, it didn't get submitted until it was too late to get it on the agenda at that point. So that's why we need to get this done tonight. There is a deadline, correct, Mr. Smith?
Yes, the grant application is due tomorrow at 4 p.m.
Thank you.
And I'll be hand delivering it tomorrow.
Make a motion that we approve I make a motion that we approve the 2014 CDBG grant application.
Is there a second?
Second.
That's the one we talked about last week.
Any discussion?
This is the one, Mr. Smith, this is what you talked about last week,
That-
not at the last meeting.
That is correct, trustee.
Isn't this not the resolution? 14R0005?
Correct.
Okay, just clear.
Any more discussion? Call the roll.
Trustee Bendel?
Aye.
Trustee Pearson?
Aye.
Trustee Smith?
Aye.
Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Henry?
Aye.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, if I may, interject before you adjourn this meeting and go into the cow, I would like to ask you to indulge in the chief who would like to perform a swearing in of 2 police officers this evening. If you could entertain that for a couple of minutes.
Yes. I would love to.
Franklin?
Okay. Officer Day, to stand. Stand, please. Come on up here. First of all, I'd like to introduce Officer Marquise Day, Officer Enrique Herrera. They're 2 new part-time officers, be working for the Village of Dolton. They're both outstanding men, and they're going to do a good job for us. Would you please give them a good hand? Now we'll proceed, you know how to turn it on? No. Let me see the camera. Did you crank the camera? No, you gotta press this right here. Oh,
But you gotta get the picture, chief.
that's okay. Oh, over here. We'll move over in a second. We'll get over this. You're not holding it long enough.
Let me see that.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Bob.
I see somebody with a mask. How do you say hold?
Put your finger right there. Finger job.
Why is it flashing up for you guys?
You're coming home the wrong thing.
Did you get a flash?
Well, we guys move over to the flag, guys.
Yeah, what'd you do?
Jesus Christ.
All right. Gotta go back and get that mask.
Thank you.
All right, one
That's
more.
a nice one.
Big smile. Okay.
Thank you.
Stay.
Okay. First, everybody.
Yes, this is your final session. You gotta run through.
Let me get on the other side of you.
Gentlemen, if you'd raise your right hand and repeat after me, I'll try and not mess this up for you. I, please state your name,
I, Enrique Marquis,
having been appointed to the office of
having been appointed to the office of
part-time police officer in the village of Dolton,
part-time police officer in the village of Dolton,
in the county of Cook,
in the county of Cook, and county of Cook,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of part-time police officer,
of the office of part-time police officer,
village of Dolton,
village of Dolton,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Thank you, gentlemen, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you much.
Congratulations, guys. Good job.
Thank you very much. Get those criminals.
Be safe.
You better check his ID. That guy old enough.
Yes, he's old enough. He just has a baby face.
Man.
Give him 5 years. The job will age him like it did all the others.
Next on the agenda, we have citizens address. If anybody likes to stand up or speak on any issues that we just discussed, please do. Okay. At this time, I would like to have a motion to adjourn our special board meeting.
A motion to adjourn.
Second.
Mr. Irvin? the agenda, you have closed session. Is there any reason to go closed session for the special board
At this
meeting?
point, we have closed session on both the board and the cow. I will defer till after the cow meeting to go in so we can continue with the flow.
Okay, all right, thank you. There was a motion and a second deal to it on.
Motion by
Bendel. Second by Smith.
trustee Bendel,
Aye.
trustee Pearson,
Aye.
trustee Smith,
Aye.
trustee Brown,
Aye.
trustee Henry.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion carries. At this moment, I would like to go into the next meeting, which is committee of the whole.
I'll make the motion that we go into the meeting of the whole.
Trustee, we don't need a motion to go into the whole, but I have to call the meeting to order, and the board will need to reappoint or appoint a mayor pro tem. So bear with me for 1 second. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In the absence of Mayor Rogers at 7:55 p.m., I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Board of Trustees Committee of the Whole and call the roll. Trustee Bendel,
Here.
trustee Pearson,
Here.
trustee Smith,
Here.
trustee Hunt, trustee Brown,
Here.
trustee Henry.
Present.
Okay, and at this time, I would ask the board once again to make a motion to appoint a mayor pro tem to chair the committee of the whole.
I motion for trustee Henry to be the mayor pro tem for the meeting.
Second.
There being no discussion, yes. Trustee Bendel,
Aye.
trustee Pearson,
Aye.
trustee Smith,
Aye.
trustee Brown,
Aye.
trustee Henry.
Aye.
Okay, we're back in business.
First on the agenda, under old business, I would like to start with agenda number 1. Fees for health inspection for establishing selling food. Ms. Irvin?
Yes, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. This is an item that was brought forth by staff members, Ms. Phillips and Mr. King. Ms. Phillips is in charge of our permitting and licensing, and Mr. King is our health inspector. We currently do have a health permit or health licensing with a fee. What we do not have is a fee structure set up for after the fact. I will use as an example that if a business was given the license today, and during the year they were inspected, and there were some violations that need to be corrected, and the health inspector, after a given period of time, usually about 30 days, goes back to make sure that the corrections were made. If they were not, he's going back a second and a third time. There are no fee structures for that. So staff has been working not only with themselves, but also with trustee Henyard on this. They've come up with some recommendations, which are on page 2 of the synopsis. It clearly states what the fees are and what they should be. I believe staff has done a wonderful job in this. We have both of the staff members here. If you have any questions, if the board is in full approval of this, this would be moved to the next board meeting for formalization and would be added.
Thank you, Ms. Irvin. Any discussion?
Well, I guess they did do they did a good job.
Yes?
No, I think the daycare center is,
Okay,
and that's $150.
correct, for half a day.
And this fee is for re-inspection. But does this include home daycare?
The 150?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I don't know if they currently even register home daycare.
No. Okay, well, we can have
And I think
Sandra
that should
or
be added.
Mr. Phillips, you can come and speak on it. Would you like to step up and speak on the daycares?
Home daycare is sort of a unique situation. and they are not, right now, they're not included in anybody's legislation, even the state. The state will visit them if they're aware of them, but there's no reporting required for a home daycare.
Well, I think we should have that.
Okay.
I think somehow we ought to get this.
We will direct staff to look into licensing of home daycare centers. We should probably also, on that same topic, as long as we're doing it, is look into licensing home businesses in general. There is nothing on the books currently about licenses for home business. We'll bring that forward at another COW meeting for discussion, but we'll move this one forward for the next board for approval.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? I would like to know would the board like to move this to the next board meeting for vote? Vandale?
I'm thinking maybe we need to do the whole package with the daycares and the things established so we can do the home ones too.
I
So
think we should.
we've got one ordinance instead of like 6 ordinances and not knowing where they're at.
And I agree, but I would like to put this into effect now, because right now he's going out doing inspections, and we don't have anything in order. So I would like to pass this so that we can start collecting the fees for it.
I agree. I think we could come back and amend this later.
I agree.
The home daycare. We should give them something to work with.
If I could give clarification also, I understand where Trustee Bendel is coming from, that we have passed in past times several ordinances that aren't tied to the rest of the book. These do all need to be tied together. The important thing here is that we're talking about food licensing and food permitting. And then we're looking at licensing of businesses, which are not apples and oranges, but small apples and big apples. They're in the same crate, but they need to be sorted out. So I would agree with Mayor Pro Tem that I would like this one to be moved forward for, if no other reason, the permitting and licensing season is upon us. It starts virtually within 30 days. So we'd like to get this document passed so that as the restaurants, businesses start coming in to renew their licenses, we can say, here is the new fee structure if you don't know how to keep your place maintained properly.
Thank you. Trustee Pearson?
I agree.
Like to go forward, yes?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Trustee Brown?
Yes.
And I'm a yes too.
And Trustee Mandel is yes, and so is myself.
Okay.
So that item will be on the next
Next
actual
board
board
meeting.
meeting.
Right. Number 2 is an amendment to the local debt recovery program agreement. To refresh everyone's memory, prior to this board taking their seats in the year 2012, the prior administration passed a resolution that would allow the Village of Dolton to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the State of Illinois Debt Recovery Program. No one ever really acted on it until it's been brought forward and discussed at a couple of meetings here. Since that time, the state has changed their resolution, and there's an amendment that needs to be made to the resolution. Am I correct, Ms. Under? So this is, again, a perfunctory thing that we need to do so that we can complete the process and enter into the IGA with the state so that we can get into the local debt recovery program as quickly as possible. And this would need to go before the board for a formal vote at the next board meeting.
Could we not vote on it tonight and put it forward since it's from the state?
No, we're fine that this is okay the way it is. We're in a COW meeting, we're not in a voting meeting at this point. We still have some other internal things that we're working on to prepare for the debt recovery system, so we're not as time sensitive as some of the other items that were on the board.
With that being said, would the board like to see this on the next agenda for vote?
Yes.
Yes.
We have to, yes.
Yes.
I'm in agreement with it as well.
Thank you. Next item is a proposed ordinance number 14-004, a building permit fee holiday. This has been in a previous COW. It just was sent back because we needed to get better clarification. And the clarification staff has worked on, and I will turn this one over to the staff member that's been working with Trustee Henyard, which is Ms. Phillips, to handle this one.
After speaking with Trustee
Can you go over to the podium, please?
Come on over.
Thank you.
I'm lonely over here.
Don't touch me, please.
I've been working with trustee Henyard on this permit holiday fee. What she's proposing is that for homeowners in the village of Dolton, for 2 months, say for instance the months of April and May, that homeowners do not have to pay for building permits, work that you're having done at your house. But it would only be for residents who actually live in the resident, not an investor. But you would not have to pay the regular permit fee when you apply for the permits. You still have to apply, but you wouldn't have to pay a fee. And she has proposed a 60-day holiday.
Thank you. And just stay there for 1 second. I just want to ask any discussion, any questions, concerns?
How much are permits? How permits
There is no
calculated?
one price for permit. We have a sliding scale. For instance, up to $500 would be $40, and it goes up every $500.
Okay,
$10
so,
for every $500.
so it depends on what type of work you're getting done, how much it costs, and that'll determine how much it will be.
That's correct.
Is anything excluded? Does this cover just certain
It would
repair?
cover anything that the normal homeowner would not have to bring in a professional service, meaning you wouldn't need to have a licensed plumber, a licensed HVAC person,
Right.
a licensed electrician.
Right.
If you
Homeowners can't.
could handle changing the hot water heater in your house, that would cover that. If you could change some windows inside your house, that would be covered. If you could handle putting up a new fence, that would be covered.
Correct.
So it's interior and exterior?
Exteriors,
Correct.
gutters, if you want to climb up on the roof of the 3-story building, trustee Pearson, be my guest.
Correct.
But there will be a building inspector, will be inspecting the work.
We're not suggesting, and please, I'm sorry for overstepping.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
We're not saying you don't have to come in and tell us what you're doing. That's not what we're doing at all.
Correct.
We're telling you that you need to come in so that our professional staff can make sure it's done properly, but there will be no fee for a 60-day period. So don't think you can just start, if you're out on your roof and our inspectors see you out there and you don't have the tag in the window, you just bought yourself a ticket. It's that simple.
That's correct.
So come on in and we'll work with you. We're user-friendly. You get to work with Ms. Phillips personally, who's a nice lady most of the time. And she's a lot nicer than the inspectors out on the street. So come in and work it out with her, and there is no charge. I just want to make sure for clarity, is this going to take effect April and May, May and June? What months are we going to do
I
this?
spoke to Sandra and she suggested it should take place April and May.
Okay, so we will be voting on it the first Monday in April, but as long as we have a consensus here that nobody's going to change their vote on that Monday in April, we'll start implementing it as of April 1st. We will get things on the webpage. We'll have some flyers put up in the village hall, and we'll try getting the word of mouth out, and we'd ask the board to spread the word as they ride around town.
I think it's a great idea.
Okay,
So thank you.
Give the residents some relief.
thank
So
you.
is everyone in favor of moving this forward to?
Yes.
voting? Yes? Yes?
Yes, yes.
Thank you for the support.
Next is number 4, failure to comply with annual rental inspection processes. I would ask that Ms. Fields come up and explain to everyone what this is all about, and this was spearheaded by trustee Henry.
Currently, today, we have a process in place. If all of our rental properties, the homeowner, well, the property owner is required to obtain an annual inspection. So if we find out, and generally that's through a tenant complaint or something, that the owner has not did that, then what we would do is issue a citation And today, the current fee is $50. We are proposing that we increase that fee to $100. And that is per year. So if a person, for example, has not had an inspection for a 3-year period, we would charge a fee of $100 for each one of those years. In addition, they have to pay that annual inspection fee, which consists of $85. If it's a multi-unit building, it's a $50 license fee, $35 rental fee per unit.
Yes. And thank you, Denise. Can you also give the board and the residents some examples of some issues you're dealing with upstairs and how this came about?
So recently, we've had quite a few tenant complaints that have came in. And then when we look at the records, we have found out that they are renting what we call illegal renting. So we didn't know that the person was a landlord. They are renting their property. They have had no inspection, so we don't know if the property is up to code or not. So we send the inspector out to do the inspection and find out there are violations and that the person has not been licensed as a landlord. They have not attended the crime-free housing class, so we charge the fees. We give them the citation for not coming in and applying, and in addition, they have to pay all of that back rent. All of the back fees for the rentals.
So those couple of months ago when I called you to help that gentleman get into school, that was the perfect example.
Perfect example.
Okay.
Any other discussion, any questions?
Now, you were saying that if this is for a year, say they have a big turnover in the housing, because people can do damage, and nobody goes back out and inspects it, or you don't know it's rented to somebody else. Well, part of that, they are required, anytime someone moves out and they're going to move a new tenant in, that is a requirement, that they do contact us and schedule an inspection. They don't have to pay the license again, but they have to pay the $35 inspection fee. And how often do they actually do that? Do they fall behind on that also? Sometime, but again, we would know unless someone tells us, you know.
It's the old honor system.
Yeah, you know. And most of our, we get a lot, you see on the records where they're paying just a $35 fee because they have a new tenant moving in. But we don't know if everyone does that.
Thank you, Denise. Any other questions?
No, I just want to make sure I understand that the $100 is the penalty.
Yes,
The 85 is the inspection.
right.
And if somebody got away with it for 3 years, they got paid $185 for all 3, $185 each year.
$185, but the fees double after May 1st.
Correct.
So the rental period ends April 30th. So you have to renew by April 30th each year. So come April 30th, that $85 is now, May 1st will now be $170.
Okay.
I think for clarification, this one will, if the board so desires, be moved to the next agenda of a formal board meeting, but I don't think it should be enforced until May 1, since the period ends on the 30th. So the confusion will probably be, well, do I have to pay this now or do I pay it May 1st? I think we would have a clear-cut answer that May 1st is the beginning of this new program.
All right.
And that's what you want, Denise?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't want to get the people that you're telling us about. You don't want to charge them the fee, you don't want to back charge them.
Not at this time. Well,
Okay.
currently, those that we have already found, we issue citations. That is our process today anyway.
All
So
right.
we are.
May 1st.
And on that,
Not the increased fee. That's
on
the
that
issue.
note, it's just because we issue citations doesn't mean people are so friendly to walk in here and say, here's my fee. But by going ahead with that local debt recovery program, we're gonna get our money sooner or later. So we're tying up a lot of loose ends, where there was a lot of inconsistencies out there, uncollectible debts that now we should be seeing new revenue streams coming forward in this next fiscal year.
Okay, thank you.
Next one is number 5. This is a distribution of free maps. There was a firm that was contacted the police department, and particularly Deputy Chief Martinez. What they do, and I don't know, Deputy Chief, did you bring a sample of that map with you this evening?
Yes, I did.
maybe you could hold it up so they can see. The reason this is on the agenda is they're literally asking for the endorsement of the village. And I didn't think I had it within my purview to say, yeah, go ahead and use the Dolton name, use the Dolton logo. They do a very nice job of portraying the town, streetwise, map-wise. Of course, they make money off of this because they sell ads. That's what they're in the business of doing. The village will get a cameo on the front cover of the map, a 3-inch by 2-inch, which we thought we would display the important numbers like the village hall, the non-emergency number, the fire department, those types of phone numbers, and trustee Pearson's home phone number. So we just want, you know, that if you're okay with the endorsement, staff is okay with it, we've checked them out, they've done business in this town before, we just want to make sure that it's okay with this board to continue it. They will be giving us 300 free maps to distribute throughout the community as we see fit.
Trustee Van Dale, are you okay with moving this forward to the next?
We don't need a vote, I just need a consensus.
Yes.
There's going to be no
Yes.
resolution.
Yes.
Okay, yes, I am.
It's free,
Yes.
Kathy's full.
Free. Yeah.
Okay. The next one is, and I'm sorry, did we get yeses? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Try to move it along because I'm missing
Yeah, we
Dancing
did.
with the Stars.
Five
here.
yeses.
Dancing with the Stars. Number 6, we're looking at a liquidation of prisoner transport vehicle. There's actually a resolution attached to the synopsis. This was passed in August of 2013. This is just to let you know that I've had several conversations with the Cook County Sheriff's Department. They told me that I should have had something in writing today. I spoke to them actually over the weekend. I did not get anything in writing. We paid, or the village, I should say, paid for this vehicle in the amount of $62,000. The blue book on it is at about $43,000. The county is willing to pay, but this is all on the phone at this point. I'm not saying it won't come, but I don't have a firm piece of paper yet, that they will get it up to $50,000. The unit is, it's already been voted on to dispose of. This is more of an informing you that the price that we will be getting for it is $50,000. Any other questions? I'll be happy to answer.
And this is the amount that you negotiated for?
I was originally, my first offer was 62, then I went to 57. They were at 44, went to 45. We ended up at 50, it's as high as I can get out of the county.
You had me in the room, that's why.
I have a question.
They might have taken 2,000 away then.
Actually, this question is for our chief. Franklin?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. I just asked, why are we selling it? I really wasn't happy about selling it, but they said we never use it. So how do we transport now?
We still have a wagon, also officially known as a squadron, we use to transport prisoners.
The
So
old
we
one?
still have a large transport vehicle. It's old, but I've had it repainted, I've had it rebadged. We spent a good deal amount of money, put some new tires on it, it works fine.
All the other upgrades that the other one has?
It has what we need in a transport vehicle.
Cameras?
We do not have a camera in the back.
Because, I mean, even though it's already sold, I'm just finding out because the other one, whether we wanted it or not, it was upgraded, it was, they bought it, I would have to say, so that when transporting, if anything happens, they wouldn't have to guess or speculate what happened back there.
Most of the time when we transport people, we transport them in squad cars. Over to Markham Court, 26 and Cal. We really don't use the wagon that much to transport people around it. Once in a great while, but not often. It's more of a vehicle, the squad is more of a vehicle we use as a show of force, say on days when schools are letting out early.
Right.
Let the students know they need to keep moving, or potentially we can fill them up full of students if they go out there and fight or whatever they're going to do when they get out early. And sometimes they do. We use it to patrol the bar areas on the weekends when they have excess crowds or a large party. Maybe they've advertised on certain social media, Twitter, the radios, radio stations, whatever. So we use it mainly to show that, as a show of force, we really don't need the other transport vehicle. We've only used it once, and that was on a click it or ticket night.
So you're
Since
gonna
I've
use
been
the money
here.
for the part-time officer?
Pardon me?
You're gonna use the the sale, the money from the sale on part-time
Well,
officers?
that money's going back into the general fund. You all going to use that for,
That came out of general fund.
Came out of the general fund, is where this money
and that's where it's going back. So you all use it however you need it. I'm sure we've got places to stick that. But we really don't need the transport vehicle. It's not something that's a necessity. It may need to sit in our garage collecting jobs
That's
for the most part.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
Well,
I say put it through.
I'm okay with you going on for vote.
As soon as I get the documentation from the county, I will forward it on to you that it is a firm price. And then, once I get that, we have the title, we have everything, we'll just make the transfer. We will make sure that we get a cashier's check because we don't trust the county. All right, next one is number 7, a Relay for Life Cancer Walk. This will be presented by trustee Henyard.
Basically, I put this on the agenda today to bring it across the board to let you guys know that I would like to have a cancer walk here in Dolton. I would like it to start at the Dorchester, and then I would like to work our way down Greenwood, and then onto Chicago Road, and I would like to end up back here at the Village Hall. The miles is 2.5, but I'm gonna say about 2 miles, so I encourage many to come and join us. The date that I'm looking for, that I'm asking for the support of the board, is June 14th, which is a Saturday, and I want it to start from 10 to 2. I would like to have activities afterwards. The food trucks, I'm more than welcome to join in. I will get food donated, so everything will be free, but I would like people to be sponsors and donate to the cause. Relay for Life, we also do that in Calumet City at TF North. TF North have a event called Relay for Life, and what they do is they sleep in tents, they stay overnight. But right here in Dolton, I'm proposing us just to do the walk and then transition over to Relay for Life at Calumet City, which will be held on June 21st, the following weekend, about 2 weeks after our walk. The board, if you're in favor of it, I'd like any questions or ideas that you guys can help put together to make this very successful. And then Chief Franklin, I will need a route from you. So I'd like to talk to you about that route so we can close off the street or block the street as we go down the blocks.
let me know. And also, I understand from Denise and Pam, they would be willing to sleep in a tent if need be.
Good thing to know that. I'll be talking to you since you want to sleep in the tent. It's actually very fun. That's how we do it.
The board, anybody got any ideas or anything you want to add on to that, or is that a good date for everybody, or you want to change the date?
Well, we actually, last year, Sabrina and I were a part of some of the walk.
That's why we talked about it. So that walk, that's just the one day, a couple of hours, from the Dorchester to here. But the teams that is put together will go the next, it'll just kind of culminate at TF North, because that's it's a very big event. Trustee Brown was there last year. He was completely blown away because he had never been to one. And I participate because, well, my mother's going through chemo right now, and it's every one of us, like I said last year, we probably have 6 degrees of separation from somebody we know and love and care for, who has gone through it, died from it, survived it, whatever the case may be. So for us as a community to do that and then go and do it with other communities, just that survivor support is what we're trying to do, and just bring the community together as well. So yeah, we're gonna do that again, and just whatever shirt you wear on the 14th will be the same shirt you wear the following weeks. But at the one at TF North, you can bring out your grill. You don't have to stay overnight if you don't want to, but you bring out your grill, you bring out your family, you bring out your tent, and just sit and have fun. You can walk around the track if you choose to. You can walk around it for hours, or you can choose not to walk around it. You can sit there and just talk to people. But it's just about coming together, the different communities, the different survivors. That's it.
And no smoking, for those that do smoke.
So you can go to your car.
Yes. So, is that a date that everybody's okay with, June 14th? Saturday's okay?
Say I won't be there.
And you'll be in his car the whole time.
And I'd like
Relay
everybody
for
to
Stan.
contribute to some type of job duty for that day. Every trustee, including the staff.
Wait, what you
Yeah.
Now, what did you say?
I said I would like everyone, meaning the trustee, including the staff, to have something to do that day.
And the
A
engineer.
I
duty.
do have something to do.
I would like you to participate very much. Thank you.
Thank you for the pass, Madam Pro Tem.
Thank you.
Sounds like a great idea.
It is.
I definitely like to be a part of that. So I'm in agreement, to push that on.
Thank you
Support of that.
for your support. Okay, Mr. Urban, got it?
Number 8, Hot Rod Show, trustee Henyard.
Okay. The reason why I put a lot of things on this agenda this evening is for the simple fact, I'm very involved and I like to showcase what Dolton has to offer. We don't do a lot of things here in town, but I'm very involved with a lot of other activities throughout the community. I own Good Burger in Calumet City, so I normally have my food truck or my restaurant donate things to different causes. I do the car show, which is in Calumet City as well. They have one coming up in August. I think we can do the same thing here in town. We call it Hard Rock Show, Mr. Urban. And he also does it in his community. And basically what it consists of is older cars coming together and showcasing their beauty, basically. You have the older cars, I don't know the names of them, so I'll give you the line. But I would like that to be held on Greenwood. The reason why I pick Greenwood is because it's more an active area where people can see it from the street, from Sibley. And then I would like to cut it off right by California. I would like the board to support me once again in another adventure for the Village of Dolton. And I would like to have this date sometime in July, if possible. I know I'm booking all your weekends up, but I just want to show the community that we are doing something, we're trying. Anybody got any?
Trustee, while you're talking about that, some places they charge a small fee
Yes,
to enter.
Yes.
Is that something that maybe we could do too, to
yes.
get incorporate, get money back to the village to help offset the cost of the police department? Because we're gonna have to have crowd control on it.
Correct. And I agree. And yes, we're gonna charge a fee just like they do for vendors or different things of that nature. They charge them a fee to come and sell food or clothes or anything. So we can work those nicks out. I just wanna make sure everybody was in agreement with it so I can start setting it up, getting things in order. And then we can come up with a date if anybody open to anything in July, or maybe y'all can get your calendars, make sure you got a family reunion or nothing like that.
How long does something like this normally?
Normally it's about 8 hours.
8?
It's like an all-day event. And of course, Chief Franklin will probably want everybody gone before sunflower.
When we go to have this on the agenda for next meeting, can we also have all the figures of what we're going to be charging everybody, so we've got the information, all information that we need for that?
Yes.
And the amount of extra
And
police
how many-
we got in.
Yes.
And how many is participating?
Okay.
Because there should be a cutoff. I mean, we have to kind of make sure that we've got enough room for all the cars and the people.
That's why I chose Greenwood.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Could I make a suggestion, just for clarity, this really doesn't need to come back to the board other than to keep promoting it.
Okay.
I would suggest forming a committee amongst yourselves to meet on a regular basis to put that all together and then just report back to the board.
Okay.
There's no formal resolution or ordinance that's needed here. It was just to let you know that it's something that the town will appreciate being done and to work out the figures. I'm sure, the police chief, any of the staff will be happy to work with the committee to put the numbers together to answer those questions, because those are good questions. It is gonna take some street closures, which includes public works, closing those streets. It's gonna take making sure the police department is out there and doing their coverage. I would also recommend that you enlist the chiefs and have them reach out to surrounding communities, just like we have an antique truck. There are a lot of communities that have antique vehicles that could be part of the show, and have them come, because what kid doesn't like jumping around on a fire chief's hat?
Okay.
So
Thank
I would
you.
include all of the staff.
So with that being said, the other thing I would like to add to that, that's not affiliated with it, is the fireworks show. I want to bring the fireworks show back to town. I've been talking with the park, and we're gonna split the cost. We're gonna split the cost of the fireworks show. Right now, the figure is up in the air, but I just throw something out there. Say, for instance, it was $10,000 for the fireworks. We will pay $5,000 and they will pay $5,000. Our thing is, I feel that we should get something as far as donations from businesses or things of that nature. To me, that's where the chamber come in at. They're supposed to give you money so that you can bring the fireworks show back. Now, the park is going to be under construction, I think May, he told me. I talked to Cleo, so he suggested that we do it in Thornridge lot. Now, I did set up a meeting to see if we can do that over in Thornridge, football lot.
Then we have to go through their school
Yes.
board, 205.
I know, but I'm setting up meetings, I'm just talking so that all of us can put our ideas together and come up with a solution. But I would like the fireworks show and the parade back. Now, we can either attach the two, have the high-rise show with the fireworks show on the same day, or if Chief Franklin think that would be too chaotic for us or not enough foot patrol or something like that, then we can have them on separate days.
I think they should be on separate days.
That's fine, that's what the board want to do. I just want to throw the suggestions out there and I want us to basically.
And I think we need to find a way to get creative money to be able to do this.
That's what I just said.
We can,
Because it was 20,000.
Robinson Engineering says I'll look into that for you.
Trustee and Mayor, could I just throw something out? I don't know,
Sure.
would this be appropriate? Yeah, Mr. Crazy in the stand, we were just kind of snowballing there, Mr. Crazy. We don't have anything locked down about Thornridge, but seeing that you're here, would it be a possible chance that we may can do something at the
we
football
shouldn't
field?
ask him, we shouldn't ask him to do that, because he's one person, he's not a board. It's not fair to put Mr. Creighton on the floor like that.
Okay, it was just a
Well,
suggestion.
it wasn't to put him on the spot. I know it was just something that we were just throwing out. And
Well,
it could be like a little yay or a nay.
Well,
Then
we
it's something-
wouldn't want somebody to
Wait,
do
wait,
that.
let me finish talking. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out. And if he could guide us and lead us in who we needs to talk to, that was basically what I'm asking. Because we didn't have a clue as of now, yes.
Sure.
What you would have to do is to take that to the superintendent, to present to the board, and then at the board meeting, it would be presented and put to a vote for the board. And of course, the majority vote would rule. But your first line of communication would be to the superintendent.
Okay.
And maybe they can help us pay for it.
We were just asking for some directions right now, and I appreciate that. That's, we can get right on that.
I did speak, trustee Hotel Henry and myself did speak just briefly. And just thinking out the box, I said, we have our own park. And everybody keeps, they keep saying, no, or not even no, but it just never comes up to play. It never comes into the conversation. Needles Park is our park.
Right.
And if we want to do something, we were talking about the parking situation, where people would park and things of that nature. Some people live close enough to where they would walk. Some people might get on the bike. Some people may drive their car. But it's our park. I'm quite sure we can figure something out, because we do have our own park. But
And it
like I
is
said,
big enough.
that's why I said 2 heads are better than 1 and 5 is better than 3. When we bring it all together, we're gonna figure something out where we can make this happen.
Well, this was just a suggestion that we wanted to bring fireworks back to Dolton. So that's something we just have to brainstorm.
Solicit every, like that sheet we got a couple of weeks ago that has the list of every business in town. Solicit every last one of them, from whether they give us $100 to $200 to $500. If the park is gonna match, that can add up. If we have 2 businesses that give us $500, we halfway there. So solicit every last one of them and consider our own part. If we coming back as a stronger community, come back with our own.
Okay, thank you. Duly noted. I'm writing down the notes as y'all speak. Anybody else got any concerns or things we should do for the fireworks or to get it back in town?
No, my only concern is that I would like to see it fully funded by donations, because it wouldn't look good if we did this and we owe so many
people.
vendors out there that we're not paying right now, so.
That is step one.
I love the fireworks.
Okay.
And I would like to see us bring it back.
Okay,
Including the
We can
parade
get
one day.
donations out there.
I think so too.
One day we'll have a parade
In
again.
fact, that sounds like something all the trustees could go out and do.
That's right.
Well, that also, that's including the parade, because no fireworks without parade, so that's, those go hand in hand.
Yes. Thank you guys for all your input. I appreciate it. Mr. Irvin?
Number 9, farmer's market, the trustee Henry show.
Again, I put this on here because I want to just bring things back to the community and I want to start building somewhere. I go to different events in other cities and they offer these things, so I figure why not bring them to where I lay my head. So, with that being said, I am proposing that we have a farmer's market every Saturday. It will be again from maybe 10 to 4, and I talked to Philip King, our health inspector, about this. We will have farmers there and also vendors, and they will pay for their location, their spots. It's basically where you can get fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, things of that nature, just a way to come out and do something different. I am proposing that it goes inside of Melody Fitness lot as far as a place to be, right off the city. Once again, I'm all about visual, so people see people and they actually make money off of it. They're not just sitting there wasting the products. Again, I asked the board for support and any ideas or input.
Was there a synopsis sheet on this?
Yes, it is. They all in here.
I don't have it.
I don't have one. Just the hot rod.
I got the hot one. I just don't have the farmers.
Mr. Urban?
It's not that he didn't understand it.
I know. He put it together. It should have been
It is
together.
what it is.
Yeah, that's hot rod. I know. I don't have no pen. That's why I was asking Mr. Urban. You didn't put it in?
didn't get one either?
We will send it out, there's no vote required, unfortunately, it was put together, the whole packet, a little later than usual, because there were some late entries, so it's just an oversight on my part. Right?
Well, I think it's a good idea.
But thank you. Can I start this farmer's market in June maybe, or May, or is that too early?
Trustee, if I may, we will need to amend our current village code because currently under the village code, this came up last year, we do not allow farmers markets in town. So we would have to do that amendment first.
So this is why the city is so dry. We don't allow them.
So what we do need to do,
Okay.
what staff will prepare for the next board meeting, which will be the first Monday in April, is an amendment to the current ordinance that does not allow for farmers markets for a formal vote on the 18th, on the first Monday in April. And we will make sure that there is a synopsis sheet that's probably laying on my desk somewhere.
And can we have a complete synopsis with all the, if we're gonna do fees, whatever we're gonna do, so we don't have to revisit these things in the next 2 or 3 months, please?
Yeah, and that's fine, but they told me that I didn't have to be on here, but I just thought that it should go on the agenda so everybody's involved and know what's going on, instead of me just trying to grab everybody throughout the hallway and say what I'm trying to
And
do.
I apologize, I never knew until 30 seconds ago that there was an ordinance that didn't allow farmers markets.
You and me both?
I will correct that. It does not ban farmers markets, but there's no provision that would allow farmers market. Essentially, the restrictions on public events eliminate the farmers market and selling food at this time.
Well, Mr. Irvin, seems as though the board is in favor of the farmers market, so
It'll be on the agenda.
thank you.
We'll be looking, I don't have the particulars though, so we'll need to have you sit with Mr. King and give me those as to who, what, where, like trustee Bedell wanted dollars and cents and all that.
Okay, thank you.
Number 10 is a workman comp insurance issue. This is being brought forward by trustee Brown with the insurance broker of record of the Sol Group. I believe, yes, they're here. So, I don't know who wants to start this one.
Okay, well, we're looking at our workman, we have a new broker in that actually came in at the end of last year and actually came in expeditiously, going through some numbers and actually saved us over $100,000 with a TPA agent that we were paying that was actually not giving us any work. So through the more dutiful investigation by the broker, he actually found where he can save us a few more dollars. So, Savard Insurance Broker, you can come up and speak on that for the board. guys keep finding money that you can give back to the village here. We definitely appreciate that.
So this is the presentation that I believe you have already, but there's two options in here. The first option is the presentation of your renewal. So currently the village is insured through Safety National. The self-insured retention is $600,000, and then for EMT, police, firefighters is $650,000. That's per occurrence. So you pay that out of pocket before insurance even kicks in for every occurrence that there is. Once that's exhausted, that self-insured retention for that occurrence is exhausted, then the policy then kicks up. You have a limit for any injured employee during work is insured based on what the state allows for each injury. And then if you're sued for negligence for some reason, then you have $1 million limit. Once you hit the estimated loss fund of $1,240,900, that's when Safety National would then reimburse you for any retentions paid over that amount. So you have a whole bunch of occurrences, a bad year, they'll pay that, they'll reimburse you, so you still have to pay their self-insured retention. They reimburse you up to $2 million, anything after that you would not get reimbursed for that. The coverage is the same as expiring this, and then the payrolls are all broken out in that section. The second option is what we would call a guaranteed cost program. So there's no self-insured retention. The benefit of that is that claims can be closed quickly, and they would still obviously look to the village to assist, in investigating the claim, talking about what, steps you want to go with paying out on the claim, making settlements, and whether the employee was injured at work. All the investigation would still be there. However, the village would not be required to pay anything as a self-insured retention. The process would begin immediately with the carrier. The benefit of this is that claims get to be closed quickly. Right now, the village, for all 5 years, they look at typically 5 years of loss information. And because there's so many losses that aren't completely paid right now, the carriers look even farther back. They went about 7 years where they actually used the actual loss information for, and claims are still open. And that's a problem. Any claims that are open more than the first 24 hours to 48 hours typically double. So the problem is right now you're paying that. You're paying those claims and they're still open because they can't get paid. So instead of being able to move on to the next year, you're not only paying for insurance every year, but you're also paying past debt for 5-7 years back. I believe there are a couple claims even 7 years back that are still open just because there's not enough money to pay them. So you'll see in the pricing difference that it is a difference. Right now, because you're paying a self-insured retention, you're paying $600,000 right away for every occurrence. The premium for Safety National is only $56,000. What is the exact? $56,534 in premium. If you go to the premium summary page, it'll give you a breakout of what other costs you have to incur when you have a claim. So $600,000 self-insured retention, or $650,000 for those specified. Plus then you have the TPA charges. That's a servicing company that handles the adjusting and the investigation. $1,025 per claim if they're off work. If they're just treated and go back to work, it's $175 per claim. And then there's different pricing because they also work with medical providers to reprice the bills. So they charge you for that as well. The policy that has no deductible is $402,760.
Any questions from the board?
Well, comparing to what we already have now, what would you guys be bringing in?
Well, Safety National is a great company. I think it's a great opportunity for you. I think there's a few things we'd like to do with your program to go forward. With Safety National, you'd have to go through a TPA, and to use risk management services, you have to pay for that. They're not included automatically because you're basically absorbing the risk to start. So it will cost more to use those services for both the TPA and Safety National. The benefit of a guaranteed cost program is that they offer that included. The carrier looks at it that they have the most skin in the game, even though you're paying a higher price. They want you to do well. The better that you do, the cheaper it gets every year. So the benefit of having guaranteed costs in the type of financial situation that you're in now is that you can get a lot of other services to go along with that will drive your losses down. We work directly with the adjusters at the carrier in the insurance company to be able to settle the claims. You'll have somebody dedicated from our office that will work with them to close claims quicker, to get settlement offers made and actually given to the injured employees so that the claims typically are smaller. So then as you start to develop these resources internally with the tools that you get from the carrier, it will actually help kind of drive those costs down. I think Safety National as a whole is a great plan. I think that based on the financial situation, it's not the best plan for you right now because, like I said, you have a lot of claims that are open and they shouldn't be.
So am I reading this right now, deductible is like 600,000,
Correct.
and you guys are looking at making deductible at what?
Zero. There would be no deductible. It would, as soon as you have a claim, it starts paying.
Okay, I'm looking at 600 and
600,000 per occurrence for all employees except EMT, firefighter, and police, and at that is 650,000.
650,000, and you can get us a deductible at what, 400,000?
That's the premium.
No, that's the premium.
Okay,
Premium.
okay.
And I have one question. What would happen with all the open, current workman's comp cases, which are totaling 25 plus?
Those actually would be handled by the TPA service that you had voted out in the last meeting.
So the new firm would not be taking any of that responsibility?
We would be working with the TPA service that you
I'll
voted
ask
on.
it again. The new firm would not be taking on any of the old problems? Is that a yes or a no?
What do you mean? I guess I don't understand the question.
We currently have 25 open cases or more. Who's going to handle those? Currently-
CMSI.
Okay. Anything that's new that comes in, who would handle it?
So ball with the carrier that we would put it with.
So there's not, you're leaving all the old behind, and all you're doing is picking up the new. And this is just for clarification, because I just got this Thursday afternoon, and I'm just digesting it now. So that we really
So the
still
old
have
still
two
stays
different
unsettled.
companies.
Well, I guess it's not.
I'm not
Safety
saying it's bad,
National.
I'm just saying I'm gonna have two companies to work with like we did before. We tried to consolidate
Well,
it.
technically you deal with us to deal with CCMSI because CCMSI handles your property and casualty.
Correct.
So they handle all of it. So they would,
Well,
no matter what, you would still handle the claims of CCMSI even if you didn't go with
Well, that's not true.
the guaranteed cost.
Before we had CCMSI, and we also had ESP, I believe? ECS. There is no more ECS, correct?
Right, because you moved it with CCMSI.
Because they were willing to take, why doesn't Saval take all the old stuff so we don't have to deal with Saval stuff? And let's get rid of CCMSI.
We're not a TPA.
You just told me that you're gonna handle everything just like a TPA.
I think that's where I'm not understanding your question. CCMSI they had charged in their last presentation the cost to take over the claims
Correct.
from the open claims from last year and all the years prior.
Correct.
That was a fee.
Right.
That would not change because we're not a third-party administrator.
But who's gonna be the third-party administrator for any new claim that would come in, let's say, June 1st?
If you went with Safety National, CCMSI,
And if we didn't go with Safety National?
you wouldn't need a TPA because you're guaranteed cost. So you would go, the claims would go right to the carrier, and us, we would handle it either way. We wouldn't change the way we handle your claims as far as who you report them
Just so
to.
the board knows what we're all getting into.
Right,
That's all
we
I
would
know.
handle them the same way and as far as an agency goes.
So
The difference is you don't have to pay for a
The village could still have all
TPA.
the losses out there because there's still 25-plus workman's comp cases that have not been resolved.
Yeah.
So those cases not gonna go away whether they take over or not. They still have to be dealt with. If we already have an old TPA handler, they will handle that. Just like now, we have cases with numbers of lawyers right now. We haven't been able to get rid of all the lawyers as of yet. But if they're gonna come in and give us a lower deductible than what we're paying now, we need to stop. Well, let me finish. We need to make sure we stop now and keep them paying a high deductible if we can get it lower now.
I agree. 100% I agree.
Okay,
I
so
just
we
wish
want to be clear on that because they've been asked to get out and investigate and find every crack and cananny that they can find to save us money, and that's what we need. Why stay with the old company that's charging us $200,000 more where they can save that?
I'm not disagreeing. I'm only concerned the fact that I took the time to travel up to Saval's agency within the last 60 days. And none of this was brought forward. The first I hear of this is last week Thursday.
So that's what we're talking about it now.
It has to be voted on by when, ladies and gentlemen?
April 1st.
We're gonna have to have a special board meeting.
So here's my
That
question.
can happen. We can't have a special board meeting.
For the
To
community.
save money, we can't have a special board meeting.
I'm saying
That's
we
why,
can.
that's why you had a special board meeting. Anytime you can make a saving, let's go after the
I'm
saving.
asking that we could have had lines of communication not only open amongst everyone, but also include the administrator going forward. That's what I'm asking.
Okay, and that's one of the things we're trying to mean right now is this poor communication.
To be fair, we did have the quote for the guaranteed cost program, and when we had talked to Mr. Urban, we had advised that we had the work comp coming up for 4/1, and at that time, we had all collectively agreed that because we had limited amount of time and resources to get the other renewal done, the general liability and property, because of the employees that were handling it no longer working for the village, the need to get a lot of other information to ACE to renew that, we had decided that it would not be a good time to do that at the same time as trying to get the other program renewed.
That was a decision by Saval, not by decision by administrator.
In addition to that, we had requested some additional information from Cassandra and Mike, I don't recall his last name, at the time was the accountant.
That was Mike Willis.
Yes, and he wasn't able to give us the information that we needed, which we estimated to get the renewal from Safety National. If you don't vote on it, then the policy with Safety National would renew unless you tell us not to renew it. There is no reason you have to leave that if you don't want to. We're trying to explain to you that there's a program that might be better suited for your needs right now.
I think any program that would save the village $1 is a better program. I'm just asking the communication between the administration's office and Saval's office be a little bit better than has happened in the last 60 days. That's all I'm asking.
What is the bottom line savings?
Right.
That's what I'm.
I can't tell you for the savings for the loss, this high self-insured retention. It's depending on your losses. That's the problem. That with the self-insured retention, whatever your losses are, you're paying $600,000 per occurrence. So if it's a small claim, you won't pay a lot. If it's a larger claim, you'll pay a lot. So it's an unknown, and that's the problem for a village that doesn't have the money to be able to pay that out. So
What
your
do we
claims are
pay?
getting higher.
What do we pay over the 402,000? Anything? That's it.
No, that's it for the year.
I got a question for you. I guess this is insurance for dummies. I have to go back to that question about the old claims. What is going to happen? Because like it has been said, we have quite a few claims open. So what's gonna happen there again? Explain this to me again.
Sure. CCMSI came in and presented both the property casualties for the retention for that this is with ACE, as well as included a cost to take over the claims for workers' compensation. So that's already, but that was voted on when you voted on CCMSI. So they'll continue to handle those claims until they close out. That was already included in that package. So those will continue to be handled by them. We'll work with them. We have been actively working with them to try and do as much as we can to get them closed out as quickly as possible. However, most of the claims that are open require settlement. So it's unless the village is able to provide the settlement, they can't be closed.
So right now, we have opportunity to save some dollars, correct? So it's never too late to try and save dollars. It has been bad communication, and we have had personnel transfer in and out, so that could be the bottleneck where things got locked in, and maybe that's why, Ms. Irvin, it might have been a little lax on you getting information and you guys giving information. But I'm looking at, Sabal came in at the end of last year with very little time and saved us money, and that's appreciative. Now you guys have done some investigation because we had Mesero insurance, Owens insurance that had us at a high deductible and where we're stuck at. Now this company here, their deductible is $650,000 for police or fire that get hurt. So that deductible, we have to pay up to $650,000. After that, then insurance kick in. But you guys are offering us something where we'll just have to pay up to $400,000. Now, you guys going to send in help here to help train our employees or department heads or some safety or something? Can you
That's our goal.
elaborate on that?
We'd like to, throughout the year, come back and have a service plan, so a risk management plan where we set up some timelines, if it's quarterly, monthly, until we get it rolling and where there's a natural progression of more meetings or less, depending on what you need. So then we would kind of do an audit of what the village needs. What kind of training do you need? Do you need specific training that are for specific employees? Let's look at what kind of claims you've had. How can we keep that from happening again? Is there certain controls that we can put in place that will prevent that? I mean, you'll have claims, it's natural to have claims, but maybe we could do something to prevent the size of the claims, the number of claims, and frequency.
So that means you guys will help us be proactive in avoiding accidents, so we can actually, things safe at a cheaper price. Okay, so.
Now, when do we have to have a special board meeting? Because me, myself, I need to digest this and just, there's not enough time to look at this.
We have to have a decision by April 1st.
So if we miss April 1st, we're done to what, next year, to make a change?
Well, you could, technically, you can make Safety National whenever you wanted. You would have to re-quote the company that quoted the guaranteed cost. Their quote ends at that time, because that's the renewal date. So that could, the pricing could change, depending on the claims again. They'd have to look at your claims again.
Because I'm in agreement, the window was getting very short, and I'm trying to digest this and articulate it back out. But when it's showing that we can make a saving for the village, for the residents, I'm gung-ho with going for it. Now, what we got by the end of the month, what's that about? We got 2 weeks left? Does that sound like enough time for us to get some information?
I think so. I think that we can come together and pick a date that's feasible for the board to meet and have a special board meeting.
I have one last question. I'm looking at what's called option 2, and that shows a total prorated premium of $402,760.
The program runs from April 1st
And
until January.
That's the one you're recommending, correct?
Correct, and then in January we renew annually because it's a program.
But now, is that with Safety National?
I'm sorry, that's with IPRF, that's with insurance.
That's where my confusion is. I'm looking at 2 programs that are from the same company.
Option 2 should say IPRF.
Could I get some background sent to me as soon as you can about IPRF? I
Sure.
have no idea who that is.
Yeah, it should be sent to all the trustees as well. I don't know.
Any other questions?
Who is this group, RPIF?
It's one of the largest village workers' compensation funds in Illinois. I'll send everybody information. I'll give you some information on the risk control services and the background about the company and different things that they'd be able to offer, as well as what we'd be able to offer. Since you would be going to guarantee costs, we could show you some of the things that we can do with them. So I'll send you a little bit about that as well.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
If you make a move, if we make this move, and our claims do improve like you're saying they are, in the next year, does this premium go down?
It could,
based
potentially,
on
yeah.
your,
It's based on a lot of different factors, but your losses are the biggest driving factor of that. So I think 1 year, they're gonna see what happens the first year, they're gonna say, this is what the village agreed to do, this is the type of plans they put in place, this is what they did to prevent losses. They're gonna look at all of that. So, you know, if you are showing that you wanna make it a safer environment, or you wanna do certain things to prevent loss, they're gonna look at that, they're gonna look at your losses, how many claims you have throughout the year. And then every year, you know, what we expect to see is it's gonna get better every year, and things are gonna just tighten up.
and you're gonna point those things out to us that you see.
Absolutely, yeah. It's gonna be a group effort, there's not gonna be something.
And that would be the initial goal, to really cut down on accidents and lost workday.
Yes.
Because that hurts us in any position here in the village. And we gotta think strongly, like public works, any of them guys get hurt, any of them police officers get hurt, firemen, so it definitely helped to cut down on work law day. So if you give that information to village administrator, Stan Irvin, and the rest of us trustees, so we can get the digest this year. So we don't want to miss the vote on this.
There's no hidden cost is what my concern. 402-760 is it.
Unless your payroll changes, if your payroll goes up.
Yeah,
It
that's,
just work counts based on payroll. So
Wait,
rates are-
you're audited on your payroll. The cost is not gonna change, the rates won't change. So whatever you're paying for rate is what you're paying for.
So
rate.
If your payroll goes down,
Then it goes down.
what
So
if we
you're
hire
audited.
people?
What's it?
What if we hire people? Because that's a fluctuation, that's, it goes up, so then that means it would.
Both policies are auditable every year.
All workman's comp. all-
I just wanted you to, yeah, both are audited.
I apologize,
Yeah.
Thank you
you are
guys.
audited.
Okay, you were saying you have training for the employees. How soon can that stuff, and is there a fee for that?
No, there's no
Is there
fee.
some way that you can maybe get with Mr. Urban and set up some trainings immediately? Because that's how we save, is having trainings. Not just getting these fancy little booklets that nobody will see but us.
you said there's no cost for training?
Right, we as an agent, that's our job, is to make sure that we work with you to get your insurance costs.
All
down.
this
So that's
including
what
the premium, the training, that's the supervision.
On a similar note, today, Ingalls Memorial Hospital and my staff, we met a few weeks ago just to get everybody familiar with how to handle employees that need hospital care, hurt on the job. And we were all educated, and there was also, they brought a person to the table, Mr. Don, help me with his last name, Mr. Stacy, do you remember he was here today? And his first name's Don. He is a retired OSHA employee. He is working with Ingalls, and at no charge to the village, he walked through the police department, the fire department, and the public works department. And he did an assessment, and he will be bringing that back to us to tell us how good or how bad we are at running those departments from a standpoint of not administratively, that you can't leave an open gas can next to a bunch of rags. You can't drive a fire truck without earmuffs on. This is all free also. Ingalls is providing it. They are also going to put together a program that there would be a cost, but the assessment, there is no cost. And he will also prepare some documentation as to how we should set up the safety committee that is very, very crucial in training. I mean, every time that there is an incident, whether someone just snipped off their fingernail or something very drastic, the committee should meet, determine what was wrong, how it can be corrected, and what can be implemented. Staff has been very aggressive since we have taken over the HR department.
That's
Thank you for your
good.
time.
I'm surprised we don't do it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is lucky number 11. It's grants for residential property municipal relief. Number 11, grant for residential property municipality relief. Trustee Henyard wants to.
Yes, thank you. But just one question real quick. I just want to make sure we was in agreement with putting that on a, Agenda.
Whenever it's ready to go, we'll make a
Okay.
call out to see what day everybody wants to have the special meeting.
So that's a yes, okay.
Okay. Just double check.
I put that down for a special meeting, special
Okay, I'm
meeting.
sorry, go ahead.
Grant for residential property municipality relief, trustee Hendrick.
Thank you again. Again, residents, I'm into giving back. I basically go the extra mile and I research grants for our community. I'm chairperson of housing, which is dear to me. I like to reinvest where I lay my head, and I think you guys should too. Just FYI, we are having an auction coming up, but I will announce that at the end of the meeting. But the grant is strictly for residents that's low income and want to do work on their property. Most people go apply for loans, things of that nature, and can't get them. Basically, I'm proposing to the board to apply for a grant that basically you guys, the residents, come back in. They come to the village and you basically got to qualify by having low income. You can then use the grant money to put down a floor, repair a roof, do different things of that nature. That's one of the grants. The second grant that I am proposing is something for securing, monitoring, and demoing property. And that's basically in grass cutting. So basically, say for instance, we put something out for people to cut grass. Say for instance, a resident cut grass and it cost them $250. You would then bring the receipt, for instance, like the gas that you paid for a lawnmower or something like that, plus your labor, to the village, and then we will basically give you the money for cutting the grass. Same thing with people that's securing the properties. If you're doing the windows, right now we use a company like border companies, things of that nature. So basically, we pay them when it should be the other way around. I wanted to give the money back to the residents. I want the residents to be more involved and also give you the opportunity to apply for the grants like most communities do. They basically come into the community, apply for the grant, and then they apply it to their home. I would like to input that back here in Dolton. And if the board has any suggestions or ideas or concerns, please let me know. And I also reached out to HUD for different grant options as well. But I have to work with Stan Urban because he's the one or someone will have to sign off on the grant and put down the information that's needed, such as how many vacant properties we have, things of that nature, so it can control the amount we get. We might get 50,000, we might get 125,000. But all the information comes from Mr. Urban, which I don't have because I don't work here. But I would like to move forward with at least applying for grants for housing to try to stabilize our community back here in Dolton. Any questions from the board?
Yeah, this is state funded money.
Yes. They're all different. You got 4 or 5 different grants.
Tell me about this one again. You talk about where we would pay people back. I mean, we don't have money as it is. We're finna,
It's a grant. It's a grant.
So the grant would pay the people back.
Yes.
So I'm talking about the one, I'm talking about the one you just said, because you just mentioned 2 grants in one.
Correct.
Now, you just said at one time, I wish I would pay $225 for my grass cutting service, and that's in a month's time. Now, if someone pays $40 a month, basically, I live on a corner. So if I'm paying $25 or $30 and I get it done twice a month, that's $60. So you're saying bring in, if I'm low income, bring in my proof of, bring in the proof that these people did the service, I paid them for it, and there's gonna be a grant to pay that money back, to give it back to.
The grants is for what we do now. For instance, we send public works out to cut properties we do not own. So the grant will go towards that. Before, I was trying to have an ordinance in place to allow the residents to get the money. Meaning we pay them to cut a vacant property that's next door to them.
But I thought we were working on the thing with the banks. If the bank's making them responsible for these properties.
You are, it's just grants. It's just a grant. It's just something that we're trying to get the community involved and have them get the money compared to giving it to a company like Ace Water, for instance, or giving it to a grass cutting company. You would pay the residents to do the stuff. It's a grant. That's one. The second one was, for instance, people that want to redo their property, do something to their home. They have grants that the village can apply for, and then the resident will come in to qualify. They have to be low income. So now they qualify to receive a grant from us for doing the work to their property. They're gonna put a floor down, they're gonna put a roof up, put a gate, a fence, whatever. It's a grant is free money, but I want to offer it to the residents. That's why I'm bringing it across the board, because I would like to apply for those grants. There's so many options, but we don't apply for any of that, and I don't see why not. So people can now put the money back in the community, because half of the town is in foreclosure. So
It's free money.
Exactly.
As long as we're not putting any money back into it that we don't have, that's my thing.
That ain't what I said. I said
That's why I'm just making sure
I
that
understand.
with the grants.
It's
I
grants.
understand grants completely, so let's, bring it down.
Sounds good,
It
sounds.
sounds great. I mentioned that before because we have so many homes here. Now, back on the other thing, what's up with the banks?
What do you mean?
The banks that own a lot of these properties that are just sitting empty, that's something else we'll talk about. We're gonna talk about that because we did talk about the banks before and making them responsible for their properties, because the properties that a lot of these banks own look horrible
We
and
have
they're
an
not
ordinance
taken
in place
care of.
with that. Last board meeting, we passed something like that for, $500. We're talking $500 for a broken window or a door. We have that. We have things like that in place already.
Now, are there rules, the state rules is gonna come with this grant, and we can put our additional rules on it?
That's what I don't know all the facts yet, but I was bringing across the board because I would like to start to at least apply for them and bring the grants to the board so we can move forward with housing. I would like to do more than just put ordinances in place for housing. I would like to at least to get the residents' money as well.
Well, we should always get the money.
Here's the bad thing about grants. Grants are written for special projects. All the documentation needs to be on every one of those grants, because at any given time that you have grant money coming into a government body, if you don't document
And
and
that's
document and you don't use it correctly, you must repay it.
And that's why I'm bringing it across the board. So that is the reason exactly.
Well, I
The
think we
specifics
need
that
to
I'm
know,
saying,
we
them
need to
on.
know exactly what it is you're
Exactly.
doing before we.
I just mentioned all that. That's what I just said.
Yeah, but we have nothing here but just the,
Because I didn't apply for anything yet. This is suggesting, and I would like people to basically support it and move forward and apply for the grant.
who's gonna document this?
Mr. Urban is gonna basically take the lead on it. I'm just starting, I'm just initiating. I know you got a lot on your plate, so that's why I initiated. But now it's gonna back on me. Because you have to give me all the facts. I don't have all the facts to apply myself.
I think
Then I
what we
will.
need for clarity to move along, because Dancing with the Stars is almost over.
Should record it.
We could apply for a grant for $1 billion. We could get awarded that grant. But if it doesn't fit our needs, we could say, thank you, but no thank you. I think what Trustee Henyard is saying, there is grant money out there. I'm not even sure which grant she's talking about. We haven't had time to talk about it. We will bring back any grant that is applied for. Prior to applying, you'll know what's going on. If we get it, there are grants out there that may sound great on paper, and Mr. Smith can verify this. There's matching grants. And I think that's what Trustee Bendel's talking about. If we get $1 million and we gotta pay $400 to get the $1 million, we may not have the $400 to get that $1 million. So I think we need to apply for grants. It's a good thing. I had a meeting with Mr. Smith earlier this evening and gave him some go-ahead on where I wanted to go and apply for some grants. We'll work with Denise, it's called the trickle-down effect here, with the housing, if these are all with housing grants, because she's our housing specialist, and we will keep the board informed. I think if nothing else, this board gets informed by the present administrator.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna send off any grants without everybody seeing what's going on.
And not only that, anything that's gonna save the residents some money, if we can get something back, I don't care if it's just $10, it's worth getting it back. So I think we should apply for it. If we don't use it all, and they want it back, we get it back.
Coach, and based on that, I don't know, we probably get a separate account, grant money account goes in a certain type of fund. Because you do have residents right now cutting the grass next door to them. So this is a great idea for them to get something out of it, because they're using their own gas, time and energy, so that's a good deal there, so I support that.
Thank
We
you.
just need some strict rules.
Okay.
Thank you for the support. I appreciate it.
Number 12 on the agenda, I guess should be pulled since the mayor is not here. If I could make comment on his behalf, the reason he is not here, he expressed to me in a phone call, and that's why I was late getting out here, is that he has had to tend to a family member's health care. So the next one is number 13, an RFQ or RFP for auditing services. I took it upon myself to draft up a sample. It says draft. I put it on your desk because this also came to me late last week because we wanted to do this. Nothing is set in stone. I'm just looking if that's all right to be sent out. More importantly, are there particular firms that you want me to send it out to? If there are, please send those to me in email as quickly as possible. That would be greatly appreciated. And the reason that there is some urgency to this is, as you've all seen in a couple of emails that have been going back and forth in the last few weeks between myself and the State Comptroller's Office, they're looking for us to get our books in order and do an audit. Our last audit was 2012. And I can tell you that our neighbors to the east of us received a letter from the Comptroller's Office and the county that they will not be receiving any grant money until their audits are done and brought into order. So I'm not saying we shouldn't apply for grants, but the state and the county are starting to crack down on municipalities that don't have their audits in order. So we get our books in order. And the reasoning behind that is, why would we give money to someone that doesn't know how to manage their own books?
Yeah.
It's that simple. So we do need to get an auditor, so I would appreciate if anyone has a particular firm they would like me to send that RFP, RFQ out to. I will be more than happy to oblige. In the meantime, I'll have our new finance director start digging up some local names of people nearby that are familiar with the south suburbs, and we will get that mailed out ASAP.
Who submitted this in, Mr.
Submitted what is?
You see auditing service preparation?
One that says draft across the top?
I don't know who it is. Let me see, I think it's not there.
Mr. Savaldi.
On this here?
Yeah, I believe that's who did it.
It says
No, you got it.
Trustee Brown.
Nope, I did that one, I'm sorry.
You put Trustee Brown on there.
I did. About the workman's comp?
No.
No, number
Auditing
13.
service
Number
preparation
13
of
says
an
trustee.
RFP.
Let me see it. That was submitted by Mr. Saval,
Number 13,
number 13.
he did this draft letter?
No, he did the synopsis sheet. I did the draft letter. I sent out an email
Yeah, we should move forward.
saying that we've worked with a firm in the past, and the next thing I know, Mr. Saval was telling me we needed to do an RFP, RFQ. I said, you need to submit a synopsis sheet. I'll work on the RFP, RFQ. And that's where we're at now.
Okay, thank you.
Number 14, media center use in violation of applicable ordinance. That was also, the synopsis sheet was prepared by Mr. Saval.
Okay, what basically,
It's a ball.
I'm sorry, I said Saval, Vasali, I'm sorry.
Vasali.
Vasali.
Thank you.
I'm very sorry. Vasali with the other one, Vasali with this one.
okay, well, he's more than likely sent, the media center in regards to, the issue that I have, which is getting access to the media center. The reason why this is on here, because I would like to bring closure to this, so I'm asking the board to, draft an ordinance or put something in writing to remove the equipment from the media center so that it can no longer come up. We've been debating and fighting about this issue for a minute. So I would like input, suggestions, or what do you guys feel we should do going forward?
I don't think we should close it. I think we should, there should be some serious conversation with the mayor and whoever says we need from the board to sit down and work through this.
Right, we tried
I
that.
think it's a problem. I know it's a problem, but it needs to get resolved and not by taking Channel 4 away from the residents.
Right, we're not taking
Well,
it away. Let me
I don't
make sure.
know.
Wait,
I don't
wait.
know why we
One
don't
second.
take it away. We don't
We're not
have
taking it away.
updated information on there.
We're not taking away. Let me make sure I got that crystal clear. We're removing the equipment from the building
Okay.
to over here so that we can utilize Channel 4 because we're not utilizing it because I was told we cannot get in the building.
Okay.
So that's what I'm proposing, to take the equipment out of the building and bring it over here to City Hall. Not take away Channel 4, not use it, nothing like that. We have a channel that we're not utilizing. I don't understand that. So now, if people have messages or things they want to let the residents know, no one can reach out to them. Only by them coming to a meeting here or through email or our website. That's the only means of communication, and I don't feel that's fair.
What I don't think is fair is that we don't have updated information on that website or on that channel. We have the channel and it's got old stuff on there instead of the new stuff.
And that's
I
what
think
I'm
it should
saying.
be either pulled or
But you understood what that
updated.
was about.
I don't care,
There-
it needs to be pulled or updated.
No, we need to make a decision if we're gonna repair the equipment. If we were told that it was $986, and you were one of the people who said we didn't have money to fix
I
it.
don't know how we can change some things, but we can't change other things. So
Well,
somebody needs to explain to me how that can happen.
what we need to do is repair the equipment so that it can be utilized properly.
And I'm okay with repairing any equipment, but I would like access to the equipment, so I would like to remove the equipment from that building and bring it over here so we can do exactly what you're stating.
Well, I just thought that there was a little struggle there with you and the mayor and some other people and the mayor, and it seemed to me that it was becoming an issue where the mayor controlled, I shouldn't say it's controlled, but there was a power struggle as to who was going to control the media center. And I think that it needs to be decided to everybody come together and decide how we're going to get content on there from everybody.
And that's
Whoever
why,
wants
and that's why I'm bringing it up. I want everybody input, but I don't think it's nothing about power or struggle. I think it's simply facts. We put an ordinance in place stating that we can get access to the media center, do we not?
Yes, we did.
Okay, and to this day, we, meaning the board, do not have access to the media center. So I don't think that's fair. I think the mayor is being, bad, meaning a bad leader by not giving us access when we put something in place. To me, now he's breaking the law, which he is. Because why put an ordinance in place if that's law and no one's abiding by the law? So that's why I'm asking now, before it keep getting further and further and further, and we keep sleeping on these, falling on deaf ears, let's do something about it, just remove the equipment. Now we don't have to fight over keys. The equipment's here in the village hall. Now everyone has access to it. Now you can put updated stuff like you want to, Trustee Vandale, on
And we
Channel
can
4.
sell that property.
I agree.
Well, we're
I'm
trying to
in
sell the
agreement with
property
that.
anyway, whether the media center's there or not, we're trying to sell it.
It's on the auction list. It's on the auction list.
And
So-
I also think bringing it here, it doesn't change anything. It needs to come out of there because there's mold in that building and it needs to come out. But bringing it here is not gonna stop the mayor from doing exactly what he's doing over there. He can put it in a room here, lock the door and say, I ain't giving you the key.
So
It's
do
not
you
gonna
think
be any
that's fair?
different.
So
No, I didn't say
not
it's fair.
Okay.
I'm just saying that that's not gonna change
So what I'm
anything.
trying to do is
Yeah,
put
we'll
something
call
in
me
order.
Samatic on it.
I'm
But
saying
we're trying to avoid
that
that.
we should sit down.
Oh, we have
We
some
are,
problems.
we are sitting down, we're sitting down and we're having a discussion. So I would like some kind of resolution to this issue that's ongoing. I'm sick and tired of arguing and debating about it. I'm here to do things for the people. I can't help the people if our voice not being heard. All the good stuff that we just spoke about tonight, that we want to implement, how do they get out to the residents?
Mr. Urban has
Or
his hand.
Shaq?
No, it just, my ignorance, I'm sorry that I'm just ignorant, but I try to learn something new every day. If that equipment, well, first of all, whatever is being transmitted now on Channel 4, whether it's good, bad, or different, there's something of it. How is it transmitted? Do we know? I don't know.
When I spoke with you, you told me that that reaches about 200 residents or so?
No, I meant cable-wise is what I'm saying. Is there a special Comcast cable that goes into that building? that we broadcast from, I don't know how.
Exactly, like, see, I don't know, I don't have
So
keys, I
what
don't know
I'm getting is
what's
to
going
move
on.
it here or move it to my house may not answer the question either.
I'm
I
not trying to
think
be
what
funny.
I'll take it upon myself to find out is what mechanism is used to transmit whatever the message be. Does it have a special cable?
I don't know,
I
but
don't know either.
to me, that's irrelevant, I do
Okay.
want the equipment here,
Okay.
because I'm tired of the big,
Okay, here's one, and I hate to say this, I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way, but maybe, and like I said, I'm not, but we're paying Ken to answer these questions. So Ken,
Oh, didn't think of that.
answer that question, please.
Everything comes out of there and goes into a unit, and that transfers it to a digital signal, and then it goes into a cable which sends it to a fiber optic system that sends it all the way over to Homewood, over that area by the cemetery. There's a cable channel port building over there. I mean, a cable building over there. No, they moved it. It's over here now. It's over in the Homewood area. And then that signal comes back and distributes through the Dolton area.
So here's another question then, before, is it at all possible that, say for instance, you tape tonight, or anybody tapes tonight, and edit and do whatever, can that tape just go straight to the building? Can we just cut out the middleman and bam, bing, bam, boom, go to the cable station itself?
No. But there are ways to put information onto the system and do the data board and everything else without going into the building. You can communicate with the system through the internet and have total access to it as if you were sitting there.
So we really wouldn't need the building at all?
Pretty much the only reason you need the building right now is because the building is where the receiving wire is that receives the signal.
So the receiving wire could be in this building?
It would have to be relocated. We would just jump it from where it is to wherever you want it to go. And then you would connect the system back to that particular line, and that would continue the fiber optic feed, which would bring it back to the community.
Is that a lot of the equipment that's gotta be moved, or just a line?
The equipment in itself, I mean, the whole thing is a studio. I mean, you're moving the whole studio to a location, or, I mean, to move it to another location, you must move the transmission line. So wherever
What's
you
the
go,
moving that, I mean, that's it?
that is going to be amplifiers on the street and special cabling, fiberglass. You need a fiberglass node to go into it because it goes out in a certain way, and then hits fiberglass, and that's what makes it. If I was to stand in that studio right now, hold a quarter to my head, and push play, before that quarter hit the ground, by the time that quarter get to my waist, people at home have been watching that tape. By the time that quarter hit the floor, everybody will be watching.
Okay.
So it's a very rapid system, so you got to have, and just to cut fiberglass, I mean, to break into a fiberglass cable, that's a lot of, they pay that guy a lot of money. He's a very skilled technician. So it will be a relocation cost that we'll have to work out with cable. And that's about it. The equipment, once that transmission line has been moved, now all you do is dismantle the equipment, bring the equipment to wherever you want it, put the equipment back together, resync the system, and once you resync the system, then start back modulating.
Can you move all the equipment inside?
Yes, sir.
And how long would it take you to move it all?
Just to break it down, it's probably going to be about a 3-week process.
How long?
About a 3-week process.
And that's 8 hours a day?
I thought y'all couldn't go in the building anyway because of asbestos and mold, and the EPA had to go in there. That was the last thing that Mayor Rogers said to us, that the building, and there were so many problems with the building, and the EPA had to come through because of asbestos, because of mold. You just said the mold itself, but there are so many problems with the building. That's why I'm like, we have so many other problems, but we keep going on about this instead of figuring out how to just end that and keep going forward.
I'm just trying to answer.
I feel you,
Get
but
some relationships to it. She wants
Right.
it out, and I wanna know what it's gonna cost to take it out. So I need to know how long it's gonna take to get it, for whoever goes in, whether it's the
Should've been
EPA,
done.
or whether it's this gentleman. how long it's gonna take, and he's the qualified person who said 3 weeks. So you're talking about 120 hours to take it out, and $175 an hour, if he does it. Whether he's gotta put on a moon suit to do it or whatever, you're talking 120 times 75 for him to do it.
Okay.
Unless he can give us a quote.
And you know, just to sum everything up, there's a lot of things that's going on at the village, that needs to get out to the residents. Just as we have different, job posting, that's being talked about in the meeting, we need that to be on the line, because a lot of the trustees, I say Tiffany Henry is one, have housing programs up here. That stuff needs to get out to the residents. I've been doing things with the youth. That information needs to get out to the youth. We're talking about different job postings that's up. That needs to get out to the residents of the village. And that information is not being put on the channel. That's what this big hullabaloo is about. We need to make sure everything that we're doing get out there, because we're doing it when we talk about transparency, everything is not getting out there. So that's something we need to get together and make that happen.
I agree.
Thanks, I guess we do with that.
Well, thank you for your input, Trustee Brown.
You know what, I want to ask Ken Wright. What are you talking about moving? Are you talking about moving the furniture or the equipment? Because we don't need furniture. We've got the village.
The equipment is about, there's a lot of wires.
Okay.
There's a whole lot of wires, and there's short length going from unit to unit. You gotta put all that back. You gotta break all that down, then put all that back. There's redundancy systems and everything else. Video, the easiest way to put it is videos.
Thank you, but we ain't gonna understand what you're talking about.
Okay.
Really, you don't.
Yeah.
I'm just saying equipment,
But
it's
he
not
just
furniture.
said.
The equipment, I'm just talking about equipment. The equipment, you gotta break down all the wires.
Let me tell you, Tiffany, in that building, there's furniture where they video stuff. We don't need the furniture because if there's mold and mildew in there, that furniture has the mold and mildew.
Okay,
What we need is equipment.
correct.
That's all we need.
And I agree. Well, thank you. So with that being said, would the board like to remove the equipment from the building and bring it over here to City Hall? Do I have the consensus of the board to do so?
Right, I haven't even been up there, because I'm not, when you said asbestos and mold, that was enough to make me not.
It's no notice on the door,
But-
it's nothing that indicates
Yeah, that's 'cause
it's
that's
a
true,
dangerous
because-
building. If that's the case, he would have posted
But,
it.
I mean, where would it go? Where are we gonna put it? I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Don't get me wrong, because we keep going over this, it's over and over and over again.
That's why I want closure.
But where are we gonna put it? What are we gonna do?
We're gonna bring it here in the village. It's a room upstairs. It's a room upstairs.
It is?
Yes, it is.
It's empty?
It is. It's by, what is his name? Robert Hunt office. Upstairs, you know, it's on the hallway.
You ain't talking about my office, are you?
His office back there.
Hey, can we take this offline and we just look and see what kind of we can do
Yeah,
there?
maybe we should.
I do agree, we need to get that equipment and stuff out of there, so
Okay, so we
I support
can
that.
put it for vote for next board meeting. If we're selling the building anyway, we gotta move the equipment anyway. So I'm just asking, why can't we start now? We are selling that building. It is under auction. We are selling it, so we should just move the equipment anyway. So, okay, Mr. Urban, everyone say yes.
So what do we create? A resolution or?
I have Jimmy, I'll call Jimmy to tell him
To take it out, I
I'll put
to remove the equipment.
Maybe you take your,
Say put it in Peters?
don't know. Say what?
We need to find out how much it costs. We might not be able to afford to move it out.
We selling the building, you're gonna have to move it out anyway. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, but
Okay, took this.
Number-
we might have to do an RFP. I mean,
number 15, administrative housing court fee.
120 hours, $75 an hour.
Well, he didn't negotiate, I'm pretty sure he's gonna charge them.
Sorry, Stan.
Number 15, administrative housing court fee. Trustee Henyard and Ms. Fields. Ms.
Ms.
Fields.
Denise, you wanna, present that?
This is to bring some uniformity between
housing court and police court. Currently today, the police department, when they have court twice a month now, they have a $25 administrative fee that they charge for every ticket that's issued. Housing at one time was doing this practice, but it has not been going forward for about the last 4 years. So we are asking so that housing and police are doing the same thing, that we charge a $25 court fee.
I approve.
Me too.
Trustee Smith, are you in favor of it? Trustee Brown, you in favor of it?
Yes.
There you go, y'all get consensus.
It'll be on the April, whatever date that is, board for.
Thank
you, Denise.
Thank you, board, for the input and suggestions. Next on the agenda, we have citizens address. Please line up to my left and state your concern.
3 minutes.
I have a question regarding incremental increases for building permits. I think that you stated that there would be for each $500 improvement, is that what it was? There would be a $50?
No, I said it's on a sliding scale.
Right.
Up to $500 is $40. For every $500, it increases 10.
So as it would increase exponentially as it goes up in terms of $10 per every $500?
Yes, sir.
That could be quite expensive.
That's what it is now.
Say again?
That's what it is now.
Okay, well, I was hoping in terms of getting some relief for this.
Will,
I
maybe
think the idea of a holiday is good, but that's pretty expensive for permits. But I usually I'll
we're
check
actually
other-
cheaper than other villages. I mean, we didn't change the rate.
So try to make sure you get your permit within that 2 months time frame. It's free. It'll be free.
If we get a term, 2 months to get a permit.
Permit for free. Yes, it's
April
free.
and
April and May of this year on. Yes,
And try to do everything because it's free,
correct.
not a full permit.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mrs. Creighton. My question to the trustees this evening is that for the 2 months free, that's something that still has to be voted on, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And encompassing the court fee that Ms. Denise was referring to for housing, you said that had not been utilizing or doing that for the last 4 years?
Yes.
And so if that court, I'm not familiar with a court fee for housing, and can you explain that to me?
This is strictly just the admin fee, just for each ticket that is written to be tacked on to the citation costs. So if you got a ticket for grass, which is $75, it would be a total of $100.
More money. Then my next concern, I hope, and I apologize for not being here, but the dates have been falling on the same time as our parent advisory meetings, that we're not planning, we've gotten a calendar together so that we're not overlapping dates.
Unfortunately not.
We don't?
We didn't have a calendar this year. Hopefully, when we do our budget, that'll be a line item so that we can have our calendar again, so that the things won't. I know what you mean, but still, we need to, like our meeting tonight, and then the things that are upcoming, like the walk on the 14th.
Is that the second Saturday?
I think so. What are you all doing?
Right,
Other than
I'm
that,
talking about the coffee with the mayor, and then we have things, I really would like for us to, when we say get the whole village involved, that we would be considerate of all the constituents, all of us in the village of Dolton would like to facilitate and to support everyone. And I mean that, everyone, housing, everything, the police, the fire. So we have to take all those things into consideration. I just think that makes us good stewards. So if we could do that, because I think we really need to come together, and I truly mean that, come together so that we are in support of each other. So please, I'm asking you to please consider when you make those dates that for things that you know are already on the calendar, that we're considerate of everyone, that those things are already planned. I think that's just showing honor. That's only referencing that individual, or it could be you. So that's what I have to say in regards to that. My next thing would be I'd like to commend the fire department chief. We just left a curriculum meeting, and the Dolton Fire Department did the presentation on the new course. I think we think the new course is phenomenal. If School District 205 agrees with the course, the board approves it, then I'm truly honored to have the Dolton Police Department come in, Fiddlesticks Fire Department, to come in and do that course for young people, juniors and seniors of School District 205. So they did a phenomenal presentation, and everyone was elated with what they presented to us. And then my next one would be...
I'm sorry, you're at 3 minutes and 35 seconds.
Okay, my next, anybody else waiting up there? Okay.
That's all right.
The only thing I wanted to
Okay.
leave was our family reading night. We have a family reading night, and we'd like the community to be a part of it. The dates are here, I have flyers here, so please. That's another reason we need Channel 4. I'd like all these things to go on the Channel 4.
We also had a website too, Ms. Craig.
Well, can we give it to the person for the website? And we said we had a new person for finance. Okay, who is that person?
She's sitting right here to the good-looking deputy chief.
Okay, well, we don't know that.
We don't know it.
We don't know that.
We
So
haven't-
can you introduce yourself?
At the end of the meeting, we can introduce her.
Point 13 on the committee. We mentioned doing an RFP or RFP for auditing services. Refresh my memory or answer my ignorance. Did we hire this Fairfield company for some type of financial services?
Yes.
What financial services specifically are they knowing? What is it?
They are attempting to put the books in order. They would be our in-house accounting firm. In-house accounting firm cannot audit itself. You have to bring in outside auditors. Even if they weren't here, if it was just our new finance director. The finance director, it'd be like you doing your own taxes, turning them in, and then there's a mistake. In the government, you have to have an outside auditing firm audit, and they do a management letter telling you how good you are or how bad you are.
Okay.
So this would be for a firm that would actually come in and audit the books and see how well they're doing.
Okay. Maybe checking to see if we're prepared.
Yes.
Okay. Is it typical for a municipal village to have an inside auditing group like that on top of their financial director?
No. Casper was brought in because, I tell it like it is, the books were in that bad of shape, going back for generations. You couldn't make heads or tails about where the monies were. Bank reconciliations had not been done for years. So the finance director, the board prior to me getting here, they realized that they needed some outside intervention. When I got here, I realized that the finance director was in a position that he shouldn't have been in. I made the recommendation of terminating him from that position. Until we found our new finance director, we had to increase the hours of the accounting firm, Casper. Because you have day-to-day activities. We have to pay bills, we have to pay employees, we have to get things done. Now that our new finance director is on board, we will be weaning them back off to just go and clean up the books of the past. The new finance director will take the books of the future and keep them moving forward in the way they should have been kept originally.
Okay. They on contract?
The Casper is on a month-to-month contract.
Okay, all right. Like it's renewed, I guess, a couple days before the end of the...
It's a month-to-month. What we did was the dollars and cents that we were saving with the elimination of the finance director's position, the board gave me the authorization at a meeting not to exceed that amount. So it's not costing us any more than what was budgeted for that position originally. So if the person was person A and was getting, I'll say $100, Caspera cannot bill for more than $100. That's the bottom line.
Okay, thank you for that. Also, second, moving on, I implore the board and administrative staff to really investigate with the creation of ordinances, because we all know that costs money.
Yes.
Before we want to just create an ordinance, find out if we have to. Particularly with the moving of the property out of the building. Unless I don't know something that, I'm listening ignorant to something else, a small detail, I don't really believe, even with the ordinance that was created about getting in and not getting in and not getting into the building, I don't believe we have to create an ordinance to move our own property. So that's, to do that before we go and create, to spend money and waste paper, dollars and time, and create an order just to move the property that we already own.
We gonna ask the attorney to find out, we don't know.
Okay, cool, that's outside, do that first before we spend however much it costs to do that, because that's just not good common sense, but it's good sense. And also, I implore to learn the difference between the resolutions and ordinances, for purposes of these committee meetings, because you don't need an ordinance for everything, it's just simple resolution. Yeah, thank you.
Ms. Senior, this question is directed to you. Can you explain to me more about the upkeep of the vacant property? I feel that should be the responsibility of whoever owns that property. And they be fined for it.
And that's
so
correct.
the village can make money.
That's correct, we have that now. And the
Okay,
fine, that's the $500 fine.
Okay, now, but you're saying that if the residents cut the grass, will you bring a receipt to you? And, I mean, is there gonna be a cap on that? Or?
Right, that was just a suggestion.
Oh, just, okay.
Yeah, it's not locked in stone, and I just bring up ideas to the board, and then we try to put our heads together and come up with a better solution. Somebody might say, well, I don't think that's a good idea, maybe we should try it this way. And then we'll just go with their idea.
Okay.
So I just come up with ideas, like you giving me a suggestion, and I'll take that into consideration, and then come up with what's best for the community.
Okay, thank you.
And it's for like vacant properties, you know, if you cut 2 houses on your block because they're vacant and you're tired of looking at them, my wife does that. She goes down and cuts 2 houses that are vacant, so she's saying that you can recoup some of that
You can
money
recoup the money.
on a vacant property. But if it's your property, you're supposed to take care of it.
Oh, well, I understand.
Yeah. But
I mean,
vacant
but is that
property,
something that's possible, like you said,
yeah.
if someone is neglecting, the person still will be fined, but you can still recoup
Yeah,
your
but
money.
if they take care of it.
Basically what you're saying.
Yeah, that is one thing. I had that on the road before, prior to when we first came in office. And there was an ordinance in place stating that we would give the resident yourself $250 for the season that you cut the grass. So I would like to bring that back across the board and see if they would entertain it. But I was just trying to find funds such as grant money to pay you guys instead of it coming out of our funds.
Okay, and I have one more question.
Sure.
If you can help me, I hope you can. What about the littering? There's so much litter in Dolton. I am sick and tired of cleaning up whiskey bottles. The back of my house is like, it's Motel 6, condoms, bras, candies. It's unbelievable.
Okay, we can look into that and see if we have an ordinance in place for littering.
There is an ordinance in
We
place.
do? And how much is it?
So we were short of police. We just approved at the last meeting to hire 6 new part-time police officers, and that will give Chief Franklin here some help to enforce it. There's a lot of things we don't enforce, like loud music. We enforce it to a degree, but there's still cars going up and down the street, and I hate it, but, you know, we gave them 6 police officers. We just swore in 2 tonight, or they were already sworn in, but we just did 2 tonight, and we gotta hire 4 more. I don't know where the chief is with it, but hopefully as soon as we get those in, we can enforce the littering ordinance.
And you have to start somewhere, it's a start.
I'm tired of
It's a
this.
start.
I mean, is there anything that the citizens can do to help out the police officer? I mean, like, maybe take down a license plate number to see somebody's throwing
I
trash.
could have sworn we had a 1-800 number that you call in if you got any issues. Is that right, Chief?
I don't know if we still have an 800 number.
Yeah.
Well, we do have high
They
alert.
can email the village through the website
Okay.
and send a concern, report a concern. But please understand me, we don't have enough officers to run around writing littering tickets all over.
Well, I understand, that's why I said, is there
I
anything?
want to make sure everybody understands that. You know, our main function is to keep people safe, protect lives, protect property. We will cite people for littering, fly dumping, whatever, if we roll up on the scene and catch them doing it. You call, we'll come over there. If they're out there dumping or fly dumping, we'll be glad to cite them, tow their cars, whatever.
Okay,
Okay?
okay.
Thank you.
What I'd like to know is, I'm just a property owner down out here. There's like the section over where I have investment in, and even though I don't live here, I take pride in here too, because I want to have it nice over there, just like the homeowners that actually live here every day, because in order to get decent people who come and respect the area and the property, they don't wanna come into low holes or things are looking like that. So my concern is, there's a problem with a lot of abandoned homes, and I think they are beginning to repair some of them now, but like I just heard the lady, the littering is just horrible. I don't know where some of these people are coming from. They just come, I guess they just rent, I don't know. Just because they rent, they don't seem to care. But I would like to see more people who do have some pride, and we can't get those type of people if we don't have support from the community to help the people who do care about the property that they're renting out. Because I care, I work hard at my area. But then the next one over there, they do a lot of different things, and you say that, I think they've been reported before, like people are, like across from me, they sell cars. And that's not good. He's out there, selling his cars.
Where's that at?
Where's, okay.
It's on the one, on 140, what's it?
You don't have to give the address out loud. If you want, you can give it to Chief.
I wish something, because I think somebody has spoken to him, but they still is doing it. They're still doing it. That's not good for me to get good people to come out here to stay,
Right.
I'm nervous. I'm trying to say a lot because when I get upset, I'm nervous. But I want to get it through that we need help too. Because just because I want to know, just because you're renting out here, I still care. I still want quality people to come out here. I have a family member who actually lives there, so I just want it to be kept, and the kids and everything else. But that's not. There's a vacant lot across from us. I just heard the lady say about cleaning it up. That needs to be done. That's the city. I guess that's the city property that you own. We pay our scavenger service, but in back of me, I had to go to a dumpster. I think somebody from housing asked me about that. Because I had to, because behind me, they had squatters there, and they were constantly piling up my can for the people who live in the building that we own. So I had to go to a dumpster. And that doesn't look good sitting on the corner, but that's what I had to do. Because they would come over at night, fill up those cans. And you see lights come on at night and they're still there. But I think that building is now, got an owner or something, the bank. But a lot of that property, the banks do own it. And I heard you say about there's something in place about these owners. These banks owning these properties and do not cut the grass, don't do anything, just let it go, and it looks terrible.
And if you ever see that or have an issue like that, you call Howard and Denise here, and she will send a code enforcement out, and they will write a ticket for it.
Okay, because I used to wear out housing before. I don't know you, but I used to even come over there, make a trip over there to talk to the lady that was there. And she said, we give them a ticket, but they don't care. They don't seem to worry about that ticket. It's still nasty. They dump out everything out down the street, and that doesn't look good for the community, even though it's over in the area, but it's still Dolton.
Okay.
Still village of Dolton.
All right. Thank you for your concern. But see Denise and see Chief and give up for them the address.
Okay.
Yeah, share your information.
And the chief
Now, maybe we could talk.
Chief
about
Franklin, I mean.
of the end,
Yes.
okay.
We can probably
Glad to
hold
talk.
it.
All right, thank
Ms.
you.
Green, young lady,
Code
One
enforcement.
additional code enforcement officer.
could you give me your information also? Yes, ma'am.
Is there any other citizens that would like to speak this evening?
Motion.
Okay, all right. Can I have a motion?
Can I just make one quick announcement? recognition tonight. I'd like to introduce to the audience the board members of All Medford. Ms. Tammy Miller is our new finance director. She started just last week.
You want to tell them what you do?
I'm in finance right now. Last week I just kind of been meeting everyone, working with Kasperick, trying to see where they are, what needs to still be done. And that's really it right now. I'm just trying to figure out what needs to be done, where to start, and just keep going forward. That's it. But I will be handling all the finances now.
Are you helping Trustee Hunt?
Can I have a motion to go into closed session?
I make a motion that we go into closed session to discuss.
Second.
Trustee Bendel?
Well, you gotta go for it.
Well, we have the reasons listed on the sheet.
Well,
You gotta say it, you know that. Okay. For the purpose of disclosing appointments, discussing appointments, employee compensation, discipline, performance, dismissal and special employees, and purchase or lease of real estate property, or settling of the price for sale of or of lease of property, or pending litigation.
second.
I had to read it all. No, man.
Just when we go in.
What did you want me to call the roll, please?
Motion by Trustee Bendel, second by Trustee Brown. To go into executive session for the reasons as read by Trustee Bendel and as set forth on the agenda. Trustee Bendel.
Aye.
Trustee Pearson.
Aye.
Trustee Smith.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Henry.
Aye.